أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Do we have any viewers? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Have any viewers? Okay, so Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulihil kareem, amma ba'd, and welcome to this series called Faithfully Yours, Taking Care of Yourself. So if anybody could please just confirm if the sound is clear so we can start with the session and get into the details, inshallah. Okay, so I'm getting feedback that the sound is good. So let's start right into the session. So this is going to be a 6-week series, inshallah, by myself, Yasmin Toor. Some of us have met in a previous session named Crash Course on Academic and Research Writing. So inshallah, we will be going on this journey together and discover the importance of taking care of ourselves in order to be the best version of ourselves. So what this series is going to entail is the importance of self-care, how to identify whether you are somebody who is draining yourself without replenishing your energies as you need them to, how to actually find a time slot and take time out for yourself, as well as ways to re-energize and replenish the lost energy. Also, part of the series will be ways to spread positive vibes and the collective benefits of self-care and maintaining healthy habits throughout so that we do not forget to take care of ourselves first in order to be able to take on the responsibility of life in the best way that we can. So this is week 1. These live sessions are going to be approximately 30 minutes, which include 20 to 25 minutes of the content itself and a short Q&A segment if anybody has questions or wants to add something, inshallah. So we will start with week 1, which will focus on the importance of self-care. So in order to be able to focus on the importance of self-care, we need to first know what self-care actually is. So self-care is taking measures to improve or preserve your health, depending on what your current condition is. If your health is really deteriorating, you have to take steps to improve it. Or if you are top fit in a good physical and spiritual state, then how do you preserve that state so it does not go down the drain? So if we're talking about health, then there's the physical aspect and the mental aspect. So the physical aspect is our body and the limbs, everything that you can see, and keeping it healthy means that we are free from ailment and diseases, fatigue, or anything that could slow us down or affect our daily actions and the work that we do, whereas mental health has something to do with the spirit, with our emotions, how we tackle things, how we perceive, how we digest, and how we process our thoughts. So both these elements together are what make us one complete whole. So both aspects are really important when taking into consideration the self-care aspect. You need to care about both things. You might all have heard that a sound mind has a sound body, or a sound body contains a sound mind. So one cannot be sound without the good state of the other. If there is a physical element that's dragging you down and your mental health is good, then the continuous physical stress will as well as deteriorate your mental health at some point, and vice versa. So, you might have come across many articles on the internet or public speakers, emotional speakers, motivational speakers, people that focus on the importance of self care and how you do it. But before we go into that, let us first focus on the connection of self care and Islam, because, as a matter of fact, many people in our Ummah completely neglect self care because they think that our religion is mainly based on being there for other people and benefiting others. But the first and foremost condition is to take care of yourself, because your body and your soul are a trust from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you have to take care of both these things to the best of your ability and make them last as long and as healthy as you've been given life. So it is actually impossible to fulfill the commands of Allah if you do not take care of yourself first. Because Islam is all about being able to do the things that you do to the best of the capacity that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed you with. And Allah loves those who do ihsan. So if we look at the Arabic meaning of ihsan, it, as most of you know, comes mostly in the connection with faith and believing in Allah. And believing in Allah to an extent where there is absolutely no doubt, and your belief has been perfected, it's excellent, there is nothing that is tarnishing it. So if you take that context into every action that you do, then you'll come to know that Allah loves those people who do all of their good actions to the best of their ability. And they try to do it at a level of excellence without any shortcomings. So, in order to be able to function at your full capacity and do the things that you are supposed to do in a manner that is perfect or nearly perfect, you have to be at your best. And the only way to be at your best, if you're not at your best, how are you going to do those things in the best way possible? And if you are at your best, then and only then can you do the things that are pleasing to Allah. You can take the responsibility of other people, and you can, give something out to the community. So basically, self-care is the only way to keep yourself running at full capacity. Let's take an example of a battery or your smartphones. This is something that you use every day. Imagine trying to run your smartphone without having an adapter, no power supply. So there's only that much time that your battery can run without being recharged. At some point, your smartphone is bound to turn off because it does not have any external power source. The energy that is being drained from the battery is not being replaced. So your body and your soul, they are vessels, and we have energies, and these energies need to be replenished. So if we don't do that, our capacity is bound to go towards zero at some point. And if that capacity is gone, then we cannot live Islam. We cannot fulfill our personal obligations, our communal obligations, our responsibilities towards ourselves, our family, our communities. If you're working, you cannot fulfill the conditions of your job. If you are a full-time housewife, you cannot take care of your family. So in order to do justice to all the responsibilities that are on your shoulders, you have to be running at full capacity. And that is where self-care actually is connected to our religion. So our religion encourages us to be good to ourselves, take care of ourselves first, so that we can take care of others. So, what happens actually if we neglect ourselves? You see many people who are struggling at work, they're struggling holding together their families, they complain of depression, and they complain of various psychological problems. They You see parents coming home from work not being able to positively create an environment for their children to be able to, you know, put some constructive energies into the household. So basically, that starts when you overwork yourself for a long period of time. If you do not take care of yourself for a long period of time, it's something that happens gradually, and you might not notice what's happening to you at first. So the negative energy that comes from draining yourself and not taking care of yourself actually accumulates in your body and your mind. And at a certain point, that negative energy projects onto everything that you do. It projects onto your conversations with other people. It projects onto your behavior. It projects on your parenting style, how you how you behave with your children, your classmates if you're a student, or your workmates if you are working, your family members if you are at home. And it creates a bad impact on society. You start slacking in your responsibilities, you forget management of time, even neglecting yourself in the first place is one of the leading causes of families crumbling, people getting fired, people getting sick, because when you're not satisfied with yourself, and this happens in your subconscious, because you don't actually realize what you're doing to yourself. You just see the effects and you fail to identify the cause. So this comes if you are not taking care of yourself. So why is it important? We looked at the importance of taking care of yourself from an Islamic perspective, and that also entails the social aspect, the individual aspect. So the actual benefit is also linked to that. You might have heard the saying that you cannot pour from an empty vessel. So imagine a mug that is half filled with water, and there are 4 cups that you need to fill. So the amount of water in that vessel determines how much can go into each of the individual mugs or cups. So if the vessel is full to the brim, all those small cups or glasses can be filled, and there might be something left in the big vessel as well. But if the vessel is already empty, there is nothing to be given to the small vessels. So we work in a similar way. If we are drained, if we are exhausted, if we lose focus, this is also one of the side effects, that you start to lose focus. You cannot concentrate on the things you do. Your efficiency, it goes from like 100 to a 40, and you're not able to identify the actual reason. So if you do not have anything in you, you cannot give anything to anybody. You cannot give anything to children. You cannot nurture your family. You cannot put the best effort into your worship, into anything that you do. You might start noticing that your mind wanders off during Salah, or you're doing household chores and thinking about things you don't even know what you're actually thinking about. So many people, females especially, they actually come to this point because they forget to take care of themselves. And they just focus on taking care of other people, which are in most cases the family, parents, in-laws, if they're working, colleagues, pleasing your employer, and it's just sad that it is such a basic thing. And if you do it right, taking care of yourself is actually fun. But it's neglected. It's neglected so much. So all these negative vibes, all the negativity in society, the tolerance level, somebody exhausted and drained and somebody who is not able to focus, such a person also has low tolerance towards the opinions of others, towards the behavior of others. This very negligence of not taking care of yourself actually results in much bigger conflicts at work, at home, and it's such a basic thing that we tend to ignore. Because short tempers results from being exhausted. You lose the ability to listen to someone with patience. Your patience, it goes straight out of the window. So there are so many things that would be better if everybody took care of themselves. Set aside a little time. And self-care, as many people perceive it wrongly, doesn't mean being selfish, and it doesn't mean to just think about the things you want and just live your dreams and just do what you want in your life at your terms and your conditions. No, it doesn't mean that. You can nurture yourself all the while taking care of the people that you need to take care of, fulfilling the responsibilities that have been given to you. So this is something that is looked at from a wrong perspective by the many who do not encourage looking after you. The people who encourage just to live for the sake of others and devote yourself to others. How can you devote yourself to anything if you have nothing in you. It's impossible. And too many people do not understand that. So it's really, really crucial that there is awareness and that there is no shame in taking out some time out of your busy schedule and devote that time to your own self, to your personal well-being, be it physical, be it spiritual, emotional, any aspect that you think you're lacking in. You need to replenish your energies. And only good will come out of it, inshallah. Only good. You will have more energy to do voluntary ibadah. You will have more energy to raise your kids right. You will have more energy to put into your work, into your household, into family, extended relatives, into the community, non-profit projects. There's so much you can do if you're functioning at full capacity. So much. But the first step is to identify, are you really taking care of yourself? Or are you just working around the clock like a robot, like a machine? And that round the clock, again and again, is it wearing you out? Are you even aware of it? This is something that we all need to look at. We need to assess this. And inshallah, in the subsequent sessions every week, on every Monday, we will be looking into a different aspect of self-care, exercises that we can do to replenish our energies, strategies, how to maintain it, how to actually manage your time so you can take out that chunk of a couple of hours or maybe just a couple of minutes. It depends on how you allocate your time. So if there are any questions, you can link them down in the chat box. And for those of you who were not able to join, the recording of this very session will be live after some time on the Islamic Reflections channel. And for those of you who tuned in, Jazakallah khairan for your time. And I hope to see you all again next week. Till then, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep you safe, bless you with health, and bless you with the ability to take care of yourself, and then with the energy that you get from it, take care of others as well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.